break me in, I'll be fine. Where do I begin? The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, but I tend to deviate, so you know I'll get there. I just may be a little late. I get so angry, get so damn mad when I feel myself slipping and my fist turn to outstretched hands, make thick my blood so I can stand it when the temperature suddenly changes and this cold becomes a habit. I'll fade a little, I'll fade as you may see. I'll fade a little, please don't give up on me. It may seem more than I can take. I may bend, but I won't break. I've got enough weight to hold me down, I guess. Although it feels like I'm floating in midair in a million pieces. I get so angry, I get so damn mad when I feel myself slipping and my fist turn to outstretched hands, make thick my blood so I can stand it when the temperature suddenly changes and this cold becomes a habit. I'll fade a little, I'll fade as you may see. Fade a little, please don't give up on me. The hardest thing I have to do is to wake up every day, tell myself that I will be okay. It's this fire from within that makes me second guess my skin. It may be a while, and I'll fade a little, I'll fade as you may see. Fade a little, please don't give up on me. Please don't give up on me.
Good morning. I missed you last week. I wasn't here. I don't know if you live near South Glen. I drive by South Glen all the time. My P.O. box is right across the street. And the old Macy's at South Glen's got this big mural on the wall that says, "Be here now." Some of you have probably seen that. And I've thought about that a lot, this idea of being here now. Thank you, Trish, for your grounding. That's the word I would use, the grounding and where we are today. Be here now. I was at my nephew's wedding last Sunday. That's where I was, up in Spokane, Washington. It was fantastic. It's unbelievable. Never seen a bride arrive by helicopter before, have you? It was really something. And my nephew, who's like my other son, he's somebody who's very special to me. And I told him something before he got involved in the ceremony and everything that was going on. It's the same thing I was telling myself as I was sitting there. This idea of being here now. I told him, Toph, be in your body, buddy, because it's going to go by really fast. The whole process of getting married, the wedding ceremony, all the doing that's happening, the fact that Rihanna showed up in a helicopter, all of that will become memory at some point, and you're going to miss it if you're not here. So I reminded myself of that this morning as I was listening to Trish. I was noticing my breathing. I was noticing my body. I was noticing the stillness that was growing inside of me. And I thought to myself, when I first volunteered to do this, I told Trish I had a presentation around innovation that I'd like to give. I went back and looked at my well-rehearsed corporate presentation. I've given it 100 times on the stage, keynote. It was really amazing, but it also was a part of me that I've transcended. It's back to this idea of spiral dynamics. It's still part of who I was, but it's not part of who I am and who I'm becoming. So I decided, hey, let's try something a little different this morning. So are you with me? Are you willing to participate in a little bit of mystery and something I'm not quite sure how it's going to go? Because I've never actually given this presentation before as it stands. Is that okay? Well, I made that decision for you. I decided to do that anyway. Yeah. All right, so those that know me well know I have a mantra that I live by. This has been my life's mantra for many, many years. It's this: what wants to happen here? Not what do I want, not what should happen, not what do I already know and how do I reinforce that? What bias am I bringing? It's the idea of what wants to happen. Or other ways of thinking about it. Which is more important? Lots of questions. I like to ask lots of questions. First one is, which is more important, knowing or trusting? Or certainty or allowing? This is going to drive some of you nuts. This one you're going to really not like. Planning or unveiling? You know the old joke, you want to hear God laugh, tell God your plans, right? It's this idea that life emerges, it unveils itself. Or this last one, knowledge or curiosity? We want both. Both are part of the experience of human life. But so much of our life is set up in having to know exactly what it looks like before we feel comfortable moving forward. Or being paralyzed without being certain about what's coming. I know that's true for me. That was the grief journey that I'm still on. My wife for 45 years, we were best friends, we grew up together, we met in high school. And when she was no longer part of my life, I didn't know who I was without her. I'm discovering. And maybe I'm late to the party when it comes to this idea of co-creation. I've studied it, I've read about it, I've written about it, I've spoken about it. Co-creation, it sounds so simple, right? It's a formula. We just do these things and we co-create, except that's not exactly how it works. So what I want to tell you is that we live inside of an unfinished creation, and that's true for our entire life. It's not true just for today or just for this week. It's everything about our lives. So for many years, I thought I was teaching and studying about innovation and transformation. Now I think I've been studying something much older, much older. I've been studying the architecture of emergence. Emergence is very different. Emergence, it's like the baby knows how to grow inside the mother. The oak tree knows how to grow from the acorn. There's nothing that's necessary to teach. It's allowing. It's about providing the environment where that is possible. So this idea that creation has never stopped. The universe is still unfolding. If you want to have a really weird, mind-bending question, if the universe is still expanding, what is it expanding into? Consciousness continues unfolding. We're not spectators, we're full participants in this whole process. So I gave a TED Talk back in 2015. It was the most terrifying presentation I've ever given. I probably rewrote it 40 times, no joke. 15 minutes of absolute terror. What I thought I was talking about was this idea of making a fierce agreement. And one of the central themes that I put into this presentation was my becoming sober 37 years ago. My life was on a trajectory of very bad things. My marriage, on the rocks. So many things have happened since then, becoming sober, I didn't realize exactly what the outcome would be. Initially, I thought I got sober through force of will, talking myself into it to make it happen. What I discovered, however, was very different than that. It's what wanted to happen. I wouldn't be standing here with you today had I not done that. I wouldn't have been in my marriage for as long as I was. We wouldn't have adopted our 2 younger children. The gift of Grace Tipton would not be here at Unity. I wouldn't know my 2 granddaughters. You could have told me all that was a possibility up front. I wouldn't have believed you. What I needed to do was to fall into this idea of what wants to happen. So I want you to kind of think about that a little bit as we go. What is about to emerge for you? What's waiting until you say yes? Until we allow it, it's not possible. Okay, let's talk about the energy of emergence for just a moment. I'm a big fan of energy. One of my favorite versions of that is the Fibonacci spiral. I'm a bit of a nerd, too. I'm a nerd, yeah. Summer and I are bonding here over the Fibonacci spiral. Well, it shows up everywhere. Everywhere. It's found throughout nature, and the way galaxies look, ferns and how they unfold, pine cones, sunflowers, seashells, even the golden mean, the golden average shows up in the length of your finger, to the length of your palm, to the length of your forearm, to the entire length of your arm. The Fibonacci spiral is everywhere, and I use that as a theme when it comes to emergence. The cool thing about it is it keeps moving. It doesn't stop. And what's often backward in the way that we approach things, we think we need lots of energy to make change happen or for emergence to occur. It's actually the reverse. We need a spark, and then it moves a little. And then the spiral comes back around to itself. It's larger. And the next time it comes around, it's even larger. The energy continues to accelerate. I've witnessed this many times in the work I do as a consultant. It's weird coming to Unity as a consultant first. It's like, oh, I've learned all the stuff about the organization. I know everything there is to know. And I love this place. It's amazing. Thank you for being my friends. Thank you for being part of my healing journey. Thank you for being part of my life. An example that I want to share with you is that a client that I had, the city and county of Denver, where we are right now, I was working with them. And the first meeting I had with the group, it was like a middle school dance. They literally could not stand each other. This group, that group, that group, different shirts, different ways of talking, telling stories about each other. It was caustic. It was mean. They'd have years of experience of just not trusting each other. They didn't know how to work together. And over the span of about 18 months, I worked with them. And I helped them see something that was possible for them that they didn't realize. It's not about transformation. It's about emergence. The essence of who we are as people is we are in connection. We want to be with each other. We want to love each other. We want to be part of each other's lives. That is part of the human experience. You just forgot. You let the narrative of toxicity and dysfunction take over. All I did was invite them to a different way of relating to each other. And when they were done working, by the way, the whole mandate behind this project was the mayor said, you will save $1 million a year, or I'm going to fire 18 of your employees and outsource you. No pressure. Well, what this group did, once they figured out they wanted to work together, is they saved not $1 million a year over 5 years, they saved $16 million over 5 years, and no one was fired. And when it came to presenting their findings, instead of being a middle school dance where they couldn't stand each other, they became a flash mob. We went around the city of Denver, we went to the police chief's office, we went to the fire chief, went to the public works director, we went to all these different offices, 30 people in tow walking in, and they presented their findings saying, this is what has emerged. One of the most powerful things I were part of. It didn't start with this much energy, it started with this much. The spiral continues to grow. So the more I learned about all this, the more I was realizing what was going on is I wasn't observing innovation or even transformation. I was observing awakening. That's what happens here at Unity. It's happening for me, and I hope it's happening for you, is awakening. In order for that to be true, so I wrote a book called Jump that goes back to 2010. I'm proud of this. There's a lot in here, but in the spirit of spiral dynamics, I have transcended much of what's here. However, the agricultural foundation of it still provides value. I'll get it out here in a minute. The first step is preparation. All right, any gardeners in the room? Anybody spend time going to Home Depot? You can tell the people that moved here for the first time, right? They're at Home Depot in the second fake-out springtime that we have about mid-April, and they buy all the plants and put them in the ground. Guess what? They're back again to Home Depot towards the end of May. But what we do when we're putting a flower bed together or a garden is we prepare the soil. The first thing that we do in order to have something emerge is to get rid of everything that would stop emergence from happening. Let me say that again. The first thing we do to allow emergence is we get rid of everything that would stop emergence from happening. Flower bed's pretty clear, the example of that. Rocks, twigs, sticks, leaves, all the stuff that's covering the soil. Think about yourself. What's necessary to stop or to remove all the things that would stop emergence from happening? Confirmation bias, fear, disembodiment, lack of agency. One of my favorite examples of that, I'm not going to tell you who they are, but I know a family that what they say all the time is, if it's God's will. If it's God's will. What you've just done by saying that is you've completely given away your agency and your participation. What does the universe want from us? Participation. So, for us, it's about becoming available. It's about clearing space. It's about listening. It's about presence. It's not about getting more information. It's about preparing the soil. So a group I've been part of for almost 40 years is called Destination Imagination. This is an amazing program for kids. And what they think they're teaching is creative problem solving and teamwork and budgeting and all these things for kids. But what they're really teaching is advocacy. What they're teaching is kids how to emerge into themselves, how to grow. And I remember an individual story, a Boys and Girls Clubs team from Pueblo. These are kids that color on the margins like I did as a kid. I still do. I color outside the margins, actually. A little different, a little neurodiverse. They're looked at by society as being a little difficult to deal with. A handful, the way I describe myself as Bob, is a lot. I'm a lot. That is true. So these kids were giving a performance, and what they were doing in DI, what they do is they have to write the whole script themselves. They have to create all the props themselves. There is actually interference penalties, disqualification if you allow adults to do things. These kids were telling their story one at a time. I get goosebumps just thinking about this. Watching these kids that society ignores, that puts into the special education room, that separates. Watching them on stage grow a little. By the time they were done presenting, they were an inch or two taller. The energy they were radiating was powerful and personal. It was life-changing because they allowed it to be true. Where in your life might life simply be asking you to prepare? What biases don't work for you anymore? What narrative needs to be transcended? That's the first stage of emergence. Without that, we just continue to tell the same old stories. Second step in the agricultural approach, the metaphor that I use here, has to do with incubation. Boy, this drives people nuts in the year 2026. Your job in incubation is to do nothing. Nothing. The seed doesn't need any encouragement to grow if you've prepared the conditions for it to be true. It will do it all by itself. But I have a to-do list, but I have all these things I have to make sure happen. Check boxes. Incubation, it's time to sit and do nothing. Yes. I'm giving you permission for that. It's like one of my favorite examples of this is the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. It's just nature's way. The caterpillar needs no encouragement, it needs no training, it needs no experience, it simply becomes. And in the middle, it is unrecognizable. If you're to open a cocoon or a chrysalis in the middle, first of all, you kill the poor thing, but it's liquid. It looks nothing like a caterpillar or a butterfly. I had a period of great incubation about 25 years ago. I decided to have a complete career reset. I'm a recovering IT guy. I spent the first 20 years of my career as a CIO and CTO and developer and all these things. And I found myself one day using the Stephen Coveyism that said, I'd climbed the ladder of success only to discover I'd leaned it against the wrong wall. Have you had a realization like that? Gosh, my life sucks. I hate this. Corporate America is not for me. I'm a terrible employee. I knew that. I questioned too many things. I got fired from the same job twice in the same day. I wear that as a badge of honor because I wouldn't succumb to the messaging. I wouldn't become part of the machine. I got hired back twice in the same day as well, but I'm more proud of the fact that I got fired twice in the same day. 2 years of being in a cocoon, not having any idea about what life would be like next. Fighting it. To-do listing myself. None of it worked. I couldn't get people to hire me to do anything. It wasn't until I allowed what wants to happen to come forward. Guess what I do now? What emerged 25 years ago. What are you trying to force? What are you pushing? What are you trying to make happen as opposed to just sitting back and letting it become? The third part of this process of emergence is a term that I really love. It's something that Carl Jung came up with. So I'm not going to go all full Carl Jung on you. I'm just going to say one thing that he came up with, and that's the term synchronicity. Synchronicity is the experience of having two things come together that seemingly have no connection to each other at all. It's what happens during the incubation process. During this synchronicity stage, the energy begins to rise. The Fibonacci spiral goes bigger and bigger and bigger. The universe begins responding to us. It lines up behind us. That's where co-creation shows up. We think it's mysterious. We think it's this weird thing that happened. I've come to believe that's the way the universe works. the strange coincidences in our lives. People point out those and say, "Isn't that amazing?" I say, "Not really. That's how the universe works." What you're doing is you're experiencing it, you're falling into it, you're becoming part of it, you're embodying what the universe says and does. If we're not experiencing synchronicity, somehow we're not connected. So the last part of this emergence is we need to do something with it. The doing something with it is the invisible becomes the visible. Not because we forced it, because we stayed in relationship with it. Examples: forgiveness. My mother's 91 years old. She had a heart procedure last week. My mother and I have a tortured relationship. My house was not a safe place to be emotionally, spiritually, physically. I've forgiven her. I was there by her bedside when she was coming back from having a heart valve replaced. I told her I loved her. That's emergence. Healing through the process of grief. What I'm discovering about grief is I'm not the same person I was 27 months ago. I'm stronger. I'm more resilient. I'm more capable. And here's the cool thing about emerging from grief is we heal so we can feel joy again, not to deal with the sadness better. I'll also say this community is so important to me. The visible becomes visible in all of you. Your stories, your challenges, your successes, your inspiration. When I'm here, the spiral takes another turn. It gets bigger as we go. And one of the things I've learned over the years is every tradition that we have on earth points in the same direction. It all points to participation. It's not about teaching religion. Judaism, live in covenant. Christianity, love as Christ loved. Islam, live in remembrance and alignment. Hinduism, realize your true self. Buddhism, awaken and relieve suffering. Taoism, flow with the way. Indigenous traditions live in reciprocity. And for those of you studying the book that we're studying right now, Ancestors or Elders to Ancestors, the Norse tradition is keeping the frith. The rest of you, don't worry about it. We fought through that a lot with the terminology in this book. The great wisdom traditions are less concerned with constructing a correct worldview than with cultivating a transformed way of being in the world. That's what we're emerging toward. Same language, different invitation. Become available, become present, become loving, become participatory. One of the things I wrote about in my other book, What's Right, Not Who's Right, is this idea, if we took all the great traditions and layered them on top of each other and looked through them this way, we actually argue about the fringe. Everything points in the same place. It's not which one is right, instead it's what are they all pointing toward. And then another way of thinking about this too, another reference in this book from Elder to Ancestor, we studied this last time, is the word, W-Y-R-D, word. It referred to the unfolding of becoming, the patterning events, not as rigid fate, but as living process through which life is continually woven. Imagine it like a loom, and where each thread's in the loom, coming together. Across many traditions, word is not merely language, it's creative expression. Gospel of John, in the beginning, was the Word. Hebrew thought, God's speech is creative. The Vedic traditions, the sacred sound of Om is the vibration from which manifestation unfolds. In Taoism, the Tao can be spoken. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, yet the Tao continually gives rise to the 10,000 things. It's like the description is not the described. It requires participation. Creation is ongoing. We participate in it. So let's bring it all together. What wants to happen here? What wants to happen here? This week, I have an invitation for you. I've got some questions in the, what's that little thing called? Thank you, the bulletin. The word just vaporized. This week, I have 3 thoughts for you beyond the questions in the bulletin. First one is, pause before reacting. All it takes is 1 millisecond for the thought to go all the way through the prefrontal cortex. That's 1 millisecond. Next, ask what wants to happen here. And third, notice where you are on the spiral. These questions will help you get there. What's quietly trying to emerge in your life right now, and what would it look like to become more available to it? Where am I in the spiral of emergence? Preparation, incubation, synchronicity, or realization? And how might I honor my divine nature? How might my divine nature change the way I move through it? And what if every situation we find ourselves in, every meaningful encounter is an opportunity to say what wants to happen? So let me close with this thought. Finally, become curious, not about changing the world, but about participating inside of it. I don't think our purpose is to manufacture the future. Our purpose is to recognize it while it's still quietly becoming. And perhaps our greatest spiritual practice of all is learning to participate. Learning to participate in what love is already trying to bring into the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I'm just going to lead you in a moment or two of meditation before Summer's back. So just take a breath. Move your body if you need to. Get comfortable for a moment. I'm going to ring the bowl that invites us to drop from our head to our heart. And let your breath follow that invitation to drop from your head to your heart. A lot has been said. And this is just taking a few moments to find where it lands in you. So taking a breath, feeling your feet on the ground in the chair behind your back. And letting this idea of what wants to emerge through you, through your life, through your awareness, through your relationships, move through you. And grounding in this great idea that that is the purpose of our life, is continued emergence. Right? Continued expansion, continued evolution upward. So what is calling to you? What wants to happen in your life? So that your next expression, your next emergence takes place. And what might you have to stop doing or release in order for that to happen? And can you take some time to be in that nothingness, to connect more deeply without doing or knowing? But to let what is emerging through you, through every cell, do its work and begin that tiny spark that continues to propel you forward. And as you do that, becoming aware of synchronicities, and saying yes to any calls to forgive. Who might you need to forgive, including yourself, in order to emerge? And know with me and together that this whole process for us individually is collectively a healing. As we do this in our own lives, in our own hearts, we are healed and we contribute to the healing of our world. So the invitation today is to move forward in claiming your thread on that loom, right? That we all need you. We are all needed to do our part in what is wanting to emerge for us collectively. And so just take a breath and know that wherever you are in that realization, in that letting go, in that forgiving, all of that is right where you need to be. There's no judgment, there's no should be, there's no what ifs. You are where you are, and something is wanting to emerge through you right in that place and space. So we trust that process as a divine process. And we let it be. And so we become. So I invite you to take a breath and bring your awareness back to this time and space.
Can hardly stand the whiplash, not to mention paper cuts. Somewhere in there I lost my place, threw up my hands and covered my face and resigned to giving up. Blinded by the pain of loss and lost inside the swell. Little did I know I was creating my own hell. But baby, I'm back. I'm better than I've ever been. I'm back. And I'll never walk that line again. My mama always said that I was better than that. So baby, I'm back. Well, I've never been so close to gone. Just jump up on this ride I'm on and leave it Grace, how sweet the sound. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I am not blind, I'm one of you, doing what I was born to do. And I'm on a roll and I won't stop now. You cannot make me shut my mouth. Change the locks, throw away the key, but you will not take the best of me.